Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for another first impressions video. I know my last two videos on this channel kind of blew up when I was talking about the gun community, all the anger and hate, and saying that I was right when I knew the Hearing Protection Act and Short Act was not going to pass the Senate. But today we're getting back to more of the mundane stuff. And it's the stuff that I love to talk about, which is, of course, guns. And today, I want to share with you my first impressions after taking the Smith & Wesson M1917 Brazilian contract Modelo 1937 to the range. So I've done a lot of research on this. In fact, I've already filmed the range report and it's already edited and currently it's rendering and I'm going to upload it tonight to set for release for, I want to say it's August of next year. Yeah, that's how far ahead in videos I am. Right now, it's still like late June 2025, and the review on this comes out August of 2026. Yeah, oh my gosh, I am so lucky to have so many videos ahead, and I've reviewed so many guns. But anyway, I did a lot of research on this bad boy, and some of it I think makes the gun cooler, and some of it, unfortunately, does not add any collectability to it. So this is, as the introduction kind of said, it's essentially a Smith & Wesson M1917. And I didn't know that Colt also made an M1917, and these were made as revolvers to essentially supplement the production of 1911s, which they didn't have enough of in World War I. And the parts are not interchangeable between the Colts and the Smith & Wessons, even though they have the same model designation. They are chambered in 45 ACP. They utilize moon clips. However, the originals used half moon clips, so only 3 in each one, and you needed 2 of them to fill the cylinder. For this review, I had full moon clips, and we need to talk more about these because that was the worst part of this review. But the original finish of this gun would have been blued. Right now it's parkerized. Oh, excuse me, I have a little bit of a runny nose because I guess I have some allergies right now. I guess something here in the summer is in bloom, and I've been a little bit sniffly lately. So you got to put up with that. I apologize. But the original finish would have been blue, and the grips would have been a wood checkered grip with a Smith & Wesson medallion. This was part of the first run that went to Brazil. The marking on the side says, essentially translated from Portuguese to English, United States of Brazil 1899, which dealt with, I guess, the founding of the Brazilian Republic after a coup d'etat which overthrew the constitutional monarchy in 1899. So that was the government that was in power when these were adopted. They wanted to modernize their small arms. Before this, they were carrying Luger pistols, and they wanted something in 45 ACP, but decided to go with a revolver. So they contacted Smith & Wesson. They bought a lot of the M1917s that were on the commercial market or destined for the commercial market. Smith & Wesson was still making those. Some of them had old surplus parts from World War I on them. And this was part of the first batch. The first batch was 25,000. The serial number of this is right in the middle of that first batch, and it has all the characteristics of that first batch. So it has the Smith & Wesson marking on the barrel on the right-hand side, which the second batch did not have. It has a square notch in the rear when it comes to the sights. Let me see if I can get that right there, the square notch. The later ones had more of a rounded notch. And it has the serrated trigger. The original US ones would have had a smooth trigger, and some of the later ones in the second batch had a smooth trigger as well. So the serial number, the features of this pistol, first batch, first 25,000. And many of these, after Brazil used them and used them pretty heavily, got sent back and re-imported, and this is actually a condition you're going to find many of them in because they got rusted pretty bad in the tropical climates of Brazil, and they were not well taken care of. So They ended up having to be refinished. A lot of the grips were destroyed. So if you could find one with original grips, it's not super rare, but it's harder. So if you want originals, I guess you might be hard pressed to find any, but any in-frame grip will work on these. So I just discovered a lot about it. And this one was imported by Century Arms. There's a little marking underneath here that you can barely see. It turns out that there was about 5 importers of these throughout the years. And they had different markings in various places on the pistol. And a lot of them were under the grips. But because it already had a place of manufacture and a serial number, they didn't have to be, I guess, additionally marked, with the exception of the company that imported them based off of the laws of the 68 Gun Control Act. So there you go. In case you're wondering, the trigger pull on this in single action is approximately 2 pounds, 13 ounces, and the double action pull somewhere in the 10-pound range. Overall, pretty smooth. So I took this to the range, and I discovered that it's pretty accurate at like 7 yards, 10 yards in single action for me. Double action, of course, the group opens up. I never shoot double actions very well. But when you start to take this out to further distances, you start to notice the sights are off. At 15 yards, it shoots low and to the right. At 25 yards, it shoots high, but the group was pretty good. And the group opened up quite a bit at about 15 yards. So I find that the sights, which are non-adjustable, just aren't perfect. But it's a military surplus firearm that wasn't designed to be a target pistol. So let's talk about the big issue. I actually took this to the range with an AR that I need to review in 6-ARC. And I didn't get around to shooting the AR. I started with this, and I'm glad that I did. So loading these moon clips is not a problem. You simply snap in the cartridges. And they go in just fine. And I have to say, after shooting this, I actually am a big believer in moon clips now. They're more efficient than speed loaders, and they're better than hand loading every single round. You can simply just drop the whole unit in there, and when you eject it, the whole thing comes out. It's actually pretty darn sweet. The prep isn't too bad. It's the reloading of these things that's an absolute nightmare. So I thought to myself, okay, so they snap in there kind of tight. I'm sure you just grab it and pull it out. Hell no. No, you don't. Getting the rounds out of this was an absolute bitch, okay? Man, did I have to work hard. And I was trying not to bend these, okay? One of these I did bend, but I came back here to the garage and I bent it back, and it works just fine. I discovered there is a tool for this. And I was looking online about these moon clips, and actually I was trying to see about the half moon clips and do my research on those. And then I saw a bunch of pictures of people with these, and I guess they come with a tool, which I guess can wrap around, or I guess it looks like a screwdriver with an end that goes around the cartridge, which allows you to kind of pry it out of the clip. And without that tool, let me tell you, I hurt my hands. I had screwdrivers out trying to, I had these on the table, and I was trying to like pry them out. Oh my God, it was miserable. And if you even bend these a little bit, the action in the revolver gums up. So I had to spend a whole bunch of time trying to straighten things out, and man, did I hurt my thumb, and I actually broke one of my tools. So I'm going to recommend to my friend Jack, and maybe he already has one, there is a tool for this, and I believe it is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. I actually think, and I could be wrong, but I think there's a tool that goes through this, and then it clips around that, and you can just pry them out real fast. That's what you need, because it keeps them flush with the clip, and they just come right out. But if they get turned a little bit, it's impossible. Oh my God. And trying to load these things, I spent more time trying to get the spent cartridges out of the moon clips than I did anything else at the range. And it made the whole range trip annoying. Okay, it's just miserable. The gunshot, okay, but man, the moon clips suck. Loading them, piece of cake. Shooting the gun, pretty pleasant experience. But triple that time trying to unload these damn things. So, Jack, if you're watching this, you need to get that tool. It is worth its weight in gold if that's the case. And if you've ever or not shot one of these before, you're going to need it, because I struggled with it. I struggled with it a long time at the range. But everything's back together now. All these are straight again. But man, I hated unloading these, but they actually kind of worked in the Revolver. I still don't think I'm sold on semi-auto cartridges in revolvers, but it is what it is. I really think that they probably should have gone with 44 Special in this versus 45 ACP. So that's the first impressions on this. I wanted to have more for you, but that's all I got. Let's talk about one more thing before I let you go. And I guess it has to do with just comments and what people have to say, and one of those frustrating things about being a YouTuber, and what you guys probably don't see. So I have a few reviews now out of suppressors. I have a lot more coming out in the future. And when it comes to any review, if I don't do something according to the manual, people rake me over the coals. So for example, if a gun requires a very specific grain weight for it to run right, and Kel-Tecs are like this, then if I say, hey, it didn't work with this, I'm like, well, you didn't read the manual. On page 18, it says only to use this expensive ammo. I'm like, my God, the pistol's a $200 pistol. Why am I going to go spend more on the ammo for just one range trip than the gun itself? But anyway, I digress. People rake me over the coals if I say something or do something that's not according to the manual. Well, in one of my suppressor reviews, I clean a pistol in the ultrasonic cleaner. And this is a suppressor that has been, or they tout, the manufacturer touts that it is safe to do. They say you don't have to do it, but you can. And it's also a suppressor that has been tested by the United States military Navy SEALs. And they claim it has military applications. It's essentially a go-to-war suppressor. And I would assume that since it has been tested by the Navy SEALs, it's okay to put water in it, and probably salt water, right? I mean, I didn't put salt water in it or run it in the ocean, but if you're going to be in the military and you want a heavy-duty do-all suppressor and you want something that's indestructible, it's made of stainless steel and Inconel, it's corrosion-resistant, well, then water doesn't matter. And many suppressor companies say you can put it in an ultrasonic cleaner. Well, anyway, I show how to clean this suppressor in an ultrasonic cleaner. And somebody said, you can't do that. I was like, well, the manufacturer says you can. And they said, well, manufacturers of autos say, or cars say, you can change the oil every 10,000 miles and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean you should wait that long. I'm like, so if I do what the manufacturer says you can do, I get in trouble. And people say, I'm an idiot. You can't do that. But if I don't do what the manufacturer says, they say the same thing. Oh, God. Ugh, my head hurts. Oh, man. My head hurts. Anyway, it's just, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I have learned you can't please anybody. You can't. If I do it by the book, people say I'm doing it wrong. If I don't do it by the book, people say I'm doing it wrong. It's unbelievable. No wonder gun companies get tired of gun owners. Gun owners are the whiniest bitches in the world. Yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated, but not bad. I'm not upset. I had a great day filming a great review on this really cool revolver. So there you go. And of course, in the background, you get to hear my dogs. They're in every Texas Gun Vault video. Trust me. They just keep barking at some little sound outside. So anyway, thank you for joining me here in the garage. Tell me what you think of moon clips, specifically for revolvers that are chambered in semi-automatic pistol cartridges. And tell me what you think about doing things by the book or not doing things by the book and ticking off people. So whatever. So if you watch to the end of this video, the word of the day is moon for moon clip. I'm curious what you guys think, because I like using them. I hate unloading them. So, as always, thanks for watching.